Take us right back to the start with this film. Where did that journey start for you with wanting to make this novel into such an amazing film?
It took me time. I read many Ernest books, but I didn't know happening. Actually, I had an abortion myself, and I wanted to read about on the topic, and I was looking for books, and friends advised me to read happening, and I was struck by the gap in between what I thought was an illegal abortion and what it really was. Also, I realized that the main difference to me in between medicalized abortion and illegal abortion is that illegal abortion, that when you go medical, you have some kind of a routine. When you go to illegal abortion, it's all about random. Who you're gonna meet, are those people gonna help you or turn you to the police? It's only about random, and I hate the idea. So I think that was the first idea that had stayed in my mind, and I decided to start writing the movie. It was more than a year after, you know. So it takes time to make a movie, so you really have to be convinced about the topic, about what you have to say, about the reason you want to make the movie. And I think that one of the reasons I wanted to make the movie was not talking about illegal abortion, but more about everything this young girl tries to reach. Like, she goes from one social class to the other. She talks very freely about her sexual desire, her intellectual desire, and I think the movie is mostly about freedom.
Definitely. And being a journalist yourself before you were a film director, did you do much research into what she would have gone through as a character as well? Were you able to do research and speak to other people who had been through a similar journey?
Yeah, first of all, I worked a lot with Annie Arnaud, and she gave me books, and I remember a book who was only testimony from women at that time that were bold to tell to a journalist what they went through. But it was not easy, for instance, to find the right medical instrument. So we had to work. I realized that we have no images. We have a lack of images and representation because it was so hard to find the right way to process, you know, even medically. So we had to work with a medical university, and they helped us, and I guess a medical museum also. So yeah, we had to. And when I say we, it's me, my costume designer, my set designer. We all work together on that.
Did you find it a really personal experience sitting down to work on this script as well? I know from personal experience as a writer myself, there are just some projects that when you sit down to write it reacts to you personally. Did you find that when you sat down to work on this screenplay?
You know, it's weird because I remember I must say that writing the first version of the text was quite easy. It was quick. I felt so related to the journey of Anne, and I admire Annie Arnaud for ages, and because I have this woman in mind for quite a long time, it was kind of easy to reach the feelings that I wanted to describe. It was quite quick, and it's not always the case, of course.
Yeah, definitely. Now, of course, being so close to the character, was it very, very difficult to cast the character? Like, it must have been difficult in the sense that you knew the character inside and out. So how difficult was it to find the perfect actress to play the role of Anne?
I knew that I would like to make the film be an experience, some kind of a physical experience. So Laurent Tangy, the DP, would be very close from the actress during all the shooting. And first of all, I really wanted to I asked my casting director to find an actress that has already made movies, even being young, because I wanted to be sure that she would not be too impressed by the process, because she has the DP so close. And I also wanted someone who can play in a very subtle way, give a lot of emotion while not doing much. Because when you're very close from her face with a special frame, nearly a square frame, if an actress is doing too much, she's going to make the movie unwatchable. So, yeah, actually, it was also easy to find Anna Maria because I think that I saw 8 or 9 actresses. And she's very subtle, but she also have a very strong relationship to words, and she plays a literature student, so I needed that also. I was looking for my intellectual partner also, and when I met her, when she walked in the room and she interviewed me first. She walked in the room and she said, I understand that I will have to be naked in that sequence, but I want to hear with your voice why I should do it. So I had an inner smile at that point because I was thinking she's already Anne somehow.
Yeah. Were you expecting that? Is that something that you were expecting from an actress to walk in and almost interview you in the same way as you were auditioning her?
I would do it. So, yeah. But not everybody. The way she interviewed me, I had the feeling that she was not trying to please me in any way.
Yeah.
She was herself from the beginning to the end. So, and to me, it was important because this is a character also. The character of the movie is the same way. So I thought it's going to be easy for her to understand that.
It's a very, very confronting role that Anna Marie had to play. Did you have a very close relationship with her during the filming of the film? Because I would imagine that there would have been a few debriefs after some of the really, really intense scenes. What was that relationship like with her throughout the film?
It started before the film because we spent lots of time talking to each other, preparing. I think the most important moment is before the shooting, while you try to set the meaning. But we had a random help. We were randomly helped by the COVID because the shooting was postponed. And at first I was desperate. And then we started talking one day on two and we exchanged references, books, movies, both sides. And I realized that we were creating a common language. And it's often that the writer-director works on the text and then on the movie for ages, and the actor or the actress jump on the train at the very last moment. And so what happened in that situation is that the filmmakers know the character more than the actors or the actress does. And it was great because that didn't happen. She was ready when she would get on set. She was ready as I was ready to talk about Anne. We have the same level of understanding, and that was great. I think that I will always remember that.
Definitely. And the film has such a natural feel to it with the camera angles that you chose throughout the film, the long scenes. Sometimes it feels like you're almost there with the characters watching this play out in front of you. How important was that for you to get that natural feel to the film?
When I read the book, I thought it's some kind of an intimate thriller. So I worked on that idea. And also I told Annie from the beginning, when she writes, she's trying to reach the rightness of her memories. And of course, I can't do so because I do fiction. But I told her I will try to make the movie be an experience, some kind of a physical experience. And I will try to reach the rightness of the instant. So it was very important to me because I picked the frame, the cinematographic grammar. I choose everything in order to try not to watch Anne, but to be her.
Okay, so what's that journey been like for you, going from journalist to screenwriter to director? Because you're such an amazing director. So what has that been like for that journey, going like that?
I always sort of at myself, okay, I'm free, and I try to stay free, and I experienced many different jobs because I wanted to. It's all and always related to writing. At first I was a publisher when I was quite young, and then I wrote novels, I wrote articles, and I used to rule a magazine, and step by step, I go to fiction, I write for others, and when I arrived on set, I realized that this chaotic journey was actually had a sense as its own pattern, because what I learned through all those experiences helped me on set. How to look at reality, how to make people work together in order to reach a common goal. Everything that I've learned through all my experiences would help me at that precise moment. So maybe I planned it in my brain, but I don't unconsciously.
Yeah. I also wanted to say congratulations on the awards that the film has won, and also on your BAFTA nomination as well. What does that mean to you to be recognized in that way while making a movie that's so important for people to watch as well?
It means a lot because it was actually very hard to make the movie. It was hard to find the money. My producers were fighters, and the only thing that we had in mind making the movie is we hope we will be able to show it to a large audience, but we believe that it would be very difficult. And after the Golden Lion, the movie was bought technically in every country in the world where it could be, shown. So it gave us a lot. It gave the movie and the topic lots of light. That was great, and it also changed something about my future because I now feel that I'm more free to tell the story I want to tell.
That's great, and I cannot wait to see what your next film is going to be. But to wrap up the interview, because we are running out of time very quickly, what would you like audiences to take away from this film? It is such an important story to get out there, but what would you like audience members to take away after the final credits?
Oh, I would love the audience to find its own questions. I hate giving answers, but I really love art to ask questions. And I think it was very interesting because I showed the movie in many different countries, and many times I was surprised because there are many different questions that popped up, and it's the beginning of the discussion, and I love art to be discussed.
Definitely. Well, Audrey, thank you so much for your time today. It's been an absolute honor having you on the show, and like I said, I cannot wait to see what your next movie is going to be as well.